minutes, hours till the day of judgment.
It's not even the Christians.
Why do you care about it? Why do you care a white man if you're white?
We don't care. We have the Vatican. We have the Vatican. We don't care.
Stockholm Center by who?
We have Rome. We're okay. Why do you guys want to be there? Don't you have Mecca? Don't you have that beautiful shrine of Ali Salam?
Bro, we are the inheritance of the Lord's land, man. We are the good ones. We follow God's commands. That's why all the lands are for us. By the way, though, like it's all of it for us, for Muslims. Maybe you guys just got being fair with you and giving you some of this dunya, this life, for some time, but the afterlife you have nothing, man. And it says in the Quran, you guys have nothing in the afterlife. Just pain.
This is not bullshit, by the way. Look at this. It is like Egyptian, Amazigh, Berber. Those are the colonies of the Arab. Are you serious? You claiming that you want to come back to the land that you got dropped from or kicked out from for 3,000 years, and you have a right to do that. And now you're telling us that the Amazigh and the Egyptian got colonized for 1,400 years and they cannot get out of this shit. Are you dumb?
So I think the reason why Israel is so important to you guys is because
it's not Israel, it's Palestine.
In your book.
Correct it.
It never says Palestine.
Palestine.
So, are you going to let me speak?
You just say Palestine.
All right. So I think the reason why it's so important to you is because on Mount Moriah is where Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac.
No, it's because the Masjid al-Aqsa and from Masjid al-Aqsa
so
to Mecca
I'm just
is
trying to, it's weird.
And the Lazi Barakna,
Then you take the story away from
this is the Holy Land from Mecca to
Isaac.
From Mecca to
Ishmael.
From the first Qibla to the second Qibla is al-Ard al-Lazi Barakna, which is Radqan min al-Sama, which is the closest.
I don't think there's an Islamic dilemma.
Yes, it is.
I think the Quran is saying the same thing the Bible's saying.
There's no Islamic dilemma, and if it matches in the Bible,
I think you guys created. It's kind of weird.
If it matches in the Bible, good for you. So that's one thing in the Bible that is correct.
I wouldn't think that your prophet is confirming that's
lovely.
The
Quran is the word of Allah.
It just makes me feel uncomfortable, man.
Just keep this in front of your eyes.
It makes me feel uncomfortable.
I'm glad that you're feeling uncomfortable.
Keep this in front of your eyes, man. The times
you have to believe in Jesus, right?
Yeah, listen. The times of Israel, the children of Israel, is over since they conspired to kill Jesus.
100%.
It's finished, you know. When the Islamic
when you are the truth, of course there is a supremacy in that.
When the Islamic
when you are intact and preserved, there is a supremacy in that. Manipulation and playing in the text, trying to justify your wrongdoing. That's not something that if we do the wrong as people, we do wrong. But the text is intact, preserved and intact.
Whose Christians had the most peaceful time under the
garbage is the one that created your brain damage for you not to see the truth and lies. You do your own thing. Choose your own thing. It's fine. We don't fucking care. But don't come here and claim superiority with a manipulated text like what you have.
Listen, all you guys have to do is just accept the fact that Jesus is love.
Alayhi salam is a prophet.
And Isa alayhi salam is love. Okay. Once you start to understand, right, Isa never had to repent. He was never rebuked by Allah.
Why would he repent?
Because the other prophets repented, like Adam, like Muhammad, like Solomon, like Moses.
He never had to repent. He didn't even get a chance to do anything for the most part. He didn't get married. He didn't get married. He spent 33 years? That's it? And he left you?
Yeah. Yeah. I love how you said 33.
Yeah,
I love that you said that.
Yeah, 33.
Because you know why? You know why I love that you said that? Because the verse 1933
it
says Isa will be born, he will die, and he will resurrect.
Yeah,
look at that,
you will come back. You will come back. You will come back.
That's not
and by the way,
about a second
33 is the same age that everybody gonna be.
33. I love. You see, the Quran sometimes, like it has these little gems in it. I love it, and I love that you mention them. You bring them
What's wrong? I'm glad.
They're like these little gems. I'm telling you, it's amazing.
If it matches, that means your angel got it right.
No, I'm not saying that. No, you're saying
it matches from the Quran.
We say from 30 to 33. We don't know.
That means you got it right. You got
we don't know a definite date. It's got to be like 30 to 33. We don't know.
No.
But I like that you said 33.
The people in Jannah gonna be in the age of 33 as well, which means perfection for the most part. Maybe perfection in beauty, maybe perfection in maturity. I don't know why, but
it's just the way Muhammad spoke about Isa makes me believe that he knew that Jesus was love.
Well, Jesus was love. Muhammad was love. Noah was love. Jonah was love. All of them came with the message that contained love. All of them. Isa alayhi salam, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Musa alayhi salam, Ibrahim alayhi salam. All of them came with love to preach love and preach before love, pure monotheism, to follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and surrender to his test and take the test and hope for the better and hope for the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's how it works. So all of them preach love. Anything else?
Megatron, you can't fight.
You guys even venerate. You guys even respect Mary the way that Catholics do. I love it. It's like even Mary has a story where Mary is sinless.
She's sinless, and she's a virgin, and she's ordered to give birth to Isa alayhi salam, the word of God, which is kun fayakun, just like Adam, be and he's been. Maryam alayhi salam, don't. He is beautiful, pious. And we also have Zachariah and Yahya alayhi salam, all of them at the same time.
Oh my God, it's still going.
Apologists tend to read it, but I guess I'm not sure. Like in the case of like the discourse, when there's if there's not a shared value, then I don't think there's any like fact of the matter saying you ought to have these values in the context of the conversation.
Right, but you don't think that like the Bible seems to have this implication that like the school shooter that doesn't have the same values as others has done something wrong that is beyond whether they take a stance on it or not, or whether
no, I absolutely do. But I think it's God's stance in that case that they've done. They violated one of God's laws, so it is something beyond them. But it's not a stance independent thing. So that's still not going to put me in the moral realist camp.
Do you think that are you a classical theist?
No, I'm a theistic personalist.
Oh, are you really?
Wow. Yes, I'm very, very theistic personalist.
Oh, that's interesting. What are the kind of arguments that swayed you to that view?
Nothing like too advanced because this is not like this is not where I've spent my time. It's kind of a debate that just doesn't matter that much to me at the end of the day. Like if classical theism turns out to be true, like or if my worldview is not affected all that much. But I have a very hard time making sense of the sorts of things that classical theists tell me about God. And I don't seem to get a lot of clarification. Like clarification doesn't seem to be forthcoming. And so like I don't know how I can believe in something I just fundamentally don't understand. I don't seem to need classical theism for anything. So I just kind of stick with the view of God that I've sort of always had because that's intelligible to me.
I mean, like, I have issues with some classical theist views as well, like, you know, like ADS, for example.
Luca, Mr. fucking cat caller.
No,
Big women would just dominate little women.
Already,
Like,
you guys
You know what they
make
did to you?
claims.
Little woman?
You guys make claims that we already
Yeah,
have done
yeah,
at school, right? So, for example, I went to boarding school, right? I went to boarding school, and I'm also from a country where most people go to boarding school, right? The difference in rates of sexual assaults between number one, all boys schools versus all girls schools, and then number two, boys dorms versus girls dorms in co-ed boarding schools, astronomical difference. So we already know things about all female environments versus all male environments. We know that the rates of sexual assault in boys' dorms much higher than in girls' dorms. Rates of sexual assault in boys' schools much higher than in girls' schools. We already know this stuff. So like I said, the difference between masculine and feminine is rates. It's about rate of occurrence. It is not because it's exclusive.
I thought it was because I got a dick
in the
and you got a pussy.
Yeah, you and Mike are not saying the same shit at all. And I think that's all that anybody's saying.
Yes, we are, bro. Yes, we are.
Okay, whatever.
She's just fucking being more precise. That's the difference. I know you, like, you know what I've learned about you? This is what's interesting. You know, like some people
Nobody thinks you agree with each
You know what
other.
they do? Like some people, they take dance lessons, right? And they don't just naturally have it, but they go to class. They're an amazing student, and then you see them performing, but you see them kind of looking like in the distance, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like they're counting the steps because this is what they were taught to do. And then you see the motherfucker just
Shows
like,
up for the win.
not counting, just naturally.
Why are you giving
You can just see like
story?
easy on the eyes the
This is
gift,
a long story.
right? Look, I know you took a class.
Bro,
I know
I've
you
been
took a
saying
class.
the same thing.
And
the
every
whole
time I hear you
You're so
speak,
weird about
I
it.
just imagine someone going 1, 2, 3, 4.
Come on, Mike.
Follow
Bro,
my
I said
steps.
she was
1, 2,
complaining
3,
before
4.
Nate did.
And you know what's funny is that even as you count your
Nate
steps, you
following
still step on
me,
fucking
what?
toes, bro. It's horrible. You're not natural at this, and it clearly shows. And I just, you don't understand things. It's weird, bro. Like the way you understand things and then explain it, like you have such a low accuracy, bro. Like you should probably get yourself checked out.
Like when I explain things,
You should like
don't
record
understand
yourself.
them
You know what I want
because
you to do? Here's a good test for you.
Pretty weird.
This is a great test for you. I want you to
Okay,
understand
here's
the
the
point,
test.
right?
Okay.
In your own mind, right?
Right.
Like how to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and then
Okay.
explain it on video,
You're
and then play the video back, knowing that when you made that video, you had a specific goal in mind, and watch how you're gonna understand even your own self. You're gonna take your own self out of context because that's how dumb you are. You hear something from somebody, and you have this fantastic ability to like misrepresent what people say. Right?
It took like
You're so
5
weird,
minutes
bro.
to be like,
You would
don't
do it
understand
yourself. You would do it yourself.
peanut butter and
You
jelly
would do it
sandwiches.
yourself. You would do it yourself. You would. It's horrible. You're so wrong all the time.
Mike,
You're
you're
not
angry
natural,
and
bro. 1,
stupid.
2, 3, 4. Keep counting. Good.
You're angry and stupid. I know when I say things you don't understand, but that's just because you're stupid, Mike.
Yeah, anyway.
I'm not saying that, but you have.
Can I
like,
say-
you're the dumb
Yeah,
guy.
what was I going to say? Anyway, so like I was saying, right, please, like this whole third gender conversation is like, I'm sorry, not a single society that ever claimed to have a third gender actually had a third gender. All they had was pluralistic gender roles. That was literally it.
What do you mean pluralistic gender roles?
So what
What do you mean by that?
So what I mean by that is that like when they're deciding, okay, what like roles or behaviors or things in society are they going to permit, right, of people based off whether they're male or they're female, what they did was that they created additional categories, usually for people who are male, right? Sometimes it was additional categories for people who are female, but the point is that they clearly knew that people were only male or female, but then they, you have your stereotypical, like, male or masculine like roles and behaviors that you expect in most societies, which is like be a husband, be like the leader of society.
Yeah, that's what it is to be a man.
Like all of those like typical things, right? So they had that one, and then in addition to that one, they would have another role slot for men who were like feminine, right? So if you look at like India,
they wasn't men though. They had a different name for them.
No,
or they were men.
So they were men, right? Because
no, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about gender, not the sex. Let's go by gender. Sorry.
Okay, in some of these societies, they had a different gender identity for them. So in India, for example, they call them Hijra. In my country, Nigeria, they call them Yandaudu, right? I think in I don't know if it's New Zealand or like Pacific Islands, they call them Fa'afine, right? But I think Afine in their language means like woman, and Fa'afine is like having like the aspects of a woman or something like that. The point I'm trying to make is that what you see in all of these societies is that they create a third like identity category for these people, but what they never do is that they never categorize these people as women, and the reason is because they know what women are. So they never for any moment confuse these.
What is a woman?
So the most you ever see is that
what
they
is
men, women,
a woman?
And they'll give these people another name, but they'll never tell you that those people are women. And that's because they know that these people don't qualify as women because they're not female.
Sugar Belly, so you're doing it again. What you're doing is you're saying that there wasn't a third gender, right? And then you said, yes, there was a third gender. They even gave them an identity as well, too. That's what it is to be a third gender. You have the role, you have the role, and then you have the label. Right? The role and the label. You have the role of what you...
Nathan, you're forgetting that I said earlier that gender roles, gender identity, and gender presentations are socially constructed. So what I'm saying
they're socially constructed?
That's what I'm talking about. Wait, you're cutting me off. I come on, Sugar Belly. I just listened to you. I listen now. I'm responding to what you said. You said originally that there was no third gender. And you just explained that there was a third gender. You said this. In this country, they gave them the roles of what applies to them. And on top of that, they even gave them a category. Hey, these males are given this category because they're not men. And that's all it means to be, that's by definition, a third gender. So that's all I wanted to say. What you did in your explanation was to explain a third gender. No, but now
I said trans people claim that these societies had third genders. But when you examine these societies, what you see is that
you just said that. I'm not talking about what you said before. I heard what you said before. I was rebuttaling what you just said now.
This is like listening to two retards.
You said a third gender role. Yes, I've heard that. Sigabelli, you said they have a third gender role. And on top of the roles, you said they gave them a category. They gave them a name.
The name that they're giving them is a gender identity.
That's what it means to have a third gender. That's what it means to have a third gender. That's what it means to have a gender. That's what it means, Chickabelly. That's what it means.
There are three genders.
You're not even listening to yourself. It's like pies all over your face. You got toilet paper all over you. And I'm telling you that.
Like my only consolation, right, in all of these brain dead like trans arguments and conversations is that worldwide, 99% of women will never, ever, ever co-sign or believe or agree that men can identify as women. So, like, we can argue this stuff until the sun implodes. It's going nowhere.
Okay.
Everywhere there is a small victory where like a bunch of delusional people are able to get a law passed, to endorse like these delusions, it will get clawed back. It will get fought against. That is my only consolation.
I tell you this though, Sugar Belly.
Because having the conversation and having the argument, like, it's mind-blowing how delusional people can be. I said that in all these societies where they claim that there is a third gender, when they examine what is happening in those societies, what they find is that they had pluralistic gender roles, but they only had 2 genders. That's what I said.
Yeah, but when you just explained it, you did not say that. What you said, in your explanation, there was a third gender. You said there were roles that were given to these males because they did not fit into the social categorization of what a man was, so they gave them another gender. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. That's what it means to have a third gender. Uh-oh. You have a group of people who don't fit into the category of what it is to be a man. So what we're going to do is socially, we're going to come up with something else, some other category. And that's what it is to have a third gender.
I'm like, so again, I don't know how people, like, I just don't get this. The whole point of gender, which is also sex, right, is reproductive strategy. For there to be a third gender, there has to be a third reproductive strategy. Everybody who has argued that there is a third gender or that there's more than 2 genders has never been able to identify the third or the fourth reproductive strategy. Like, I just don't understand. Like, it's like you people you're immune to logical thinking.
You just don't know what a gender is. If you think gender is talking about reproduction strategies, you're just incorrect.
Gender is absolutely talking about the classes that human beings come in for the purpose of reproduction. That is what gender is.
No, that's I need somebody to answer this question. Proprietary definition. And everyone who's on the topic, they don't use it that way. That's how Sugar
when I answer this question here,
understanding of it, but Sugar Belly's understanding of it is not everyone else. If you're gonna argue Sugar Belly's definition, then my fault, Sugar Belly. I was just arguing what people generally consider gender.
Nathan, I'm going to say to you what I said. I think it was MJ, right? There is this lie that pro-trans people love to tell, and the lie is, oh, this is just your opinion. Everybody agrees that gender and sex are different. And I keep on asking you, who is that everybody? Who are the everybody? Because when you actually look out into the world, what you see is that majority of people do not agree that gender and sex are different. It is only a tiny minority of people who would like gender and sex to be different and so around trying to browbeat other people to accept that gender and sex are different. The majority of the world does not agree. Even your own country in America, majority of Americans don't agree. So what are you talking about? Who is everybody?
The majority of Americans at one point in time believed that Black people were subhuman. That's it. 1 second. Okay, I'm just pointing out that. Okay, your point is a fallacy. It's an appeal to popularity fallacy, and fallacy means that there's an error with it. And I didn't do that. You just did. Never made that. You said, "Hey, MJ makes this claim." You said MJ says claim.
Nathan, do you
just committed the appeal to popularity fallacy?
Nathan, do you admit or do you deny that before I just made this response, you said, oh, Sugar Belly, that's just your opinion, but that's not the one that everybody agrees with. Everybody agrees that sex and gender are different. We all heard you. We all excuse me, we all heard you, right? So Nathan, for you to now come and say,
I didn't say that, Sugar Belly.
No, we can pull the room.
I didn't just say that.
We can pull the room. If you heard Nathan when he said, oh, this is just Sugar Belly's definition of gender, everybody agrees that gender and sex are different. Right in the chat.
That's not what I said.
Nathan, no.
Tell you what I said. Can I tell you what I said?
Nathan, I won't let you get away with it because you were the one.
Can I correct you?
Nathan, you were the one who tried to appeal to popularity. You tried to say. Not. Yes, you did. You tried to say we can dismiss what you are saying because this is just your opinion. This is just your definition. Meanwhile, you should accept what I am saying because everybody agrees with my definition. You are the one who did that. You did.
No, what I said was this, Sugar Belly. When you gave your definition, saying that gender is, what you said, sexual. You said something about you said mating practices or something like that. You said something reproduction. You said reproduction strategies. That's what you said, and I was like, no. No one uses that definition, that gender has anything to do with reproduction strategies. No one uses that definition. You can look up any definition of it. No one uses that definition. That's what I was disagreeing with. That right there. I never said anything about male and gender, sex and gender being separated.
What is the definition? So let's check whether what you're saying is true, right?
Okay.
So when you look up definitions of gender, right, and I'm talking about the old definitions before the trans crowd started trying to like edit the definition, right? All the old definitions of gender show it as an alternative for sex, right? So, what is the definition of sex?
Which one? The old one?
No, so I'm saying like let's go before the trans people started like trying to change the gender definition. Let's just look at the historical definition that has been used, right, for most of the existence of the word. All of those, like every time you look up gender, like in that context, it's an alternative for sex, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if gender is used as this interchangeable alternative for sex, right, then defining sex is the same thing as defining gender in that context, right?
Oh, yeah, back then,
cool,
yeah,
cool.
I agree with you.
Okay, cool. So now the question now asks, what is the definition of sex, which is also the definition of gender in that context? What's the definition?
Sex. I think gender is like the social construct.
No.
Right?
No. So you're using the new definition, right? So I said
you asked me what is the definition of sex.
I'm accommodating for the fact that the pro-trans people define
I'm just trying to say this. Look, within humans, right? Humans have this thing as gender, right? But sex is something sex is something that applies to all species, right? So you have male or female, right? So you have male or female dogs, but the genders of the dogs, we don't do that, right? Male or female cats, they get, right? The same thing, but we don't have genders for them. We don't have social roles what they could play within society, like the woman role or the man role. We don't have those in society for those animals. But sex is like biological. It's on it's either.
Nathan.
What's up?
Nathan.
What's up, Sugar Belly?
The question
She assuming the dog's gender.
Nathan, the question that I asked you accommodates for the fact that today we have trans people and pro-trans people who want to define gender socially, right? We're not talking about these additions or these changes to the definition of gender. I had asked you whether the historical use of the word gender was used interchangeably with sex, and you said yes. And saying yes to that means that you also have to agree that as long as we're talking about that historical context, then definitions of sex are the same thing as definitions of gender in that context. And you also said yes to that. When I now asked you to define sex, you now start telling me, oh, I think gender is defined socially. You're dodging.
I didn't say I think definition. No, you tell me to define sex. I'm showing you the distinction.
Like, sorry, is it like, do you guys not see how he's dodging the question?
Yeah, distinction is not the definition.
Nathan, I'm glad somebody else.
Explain what he just said. Explain what he just said. Explain, because I didn't understand what he said. You understood what he said? What did he just say?
Distinction is not the definition.
Not you.
Oh.
Why? What the
Nathan.
You ain't saying no names, nigga.
Nathan, you're being asked to look at a time period when
you on the clock, Nathan, not me?
Sorry, you're being asked to look at a time period when gender and sex are used interchangeably, right? In that time period, any definition of gender is also a definition of sex and vice versa. You agreed to this. Now I asked you what is the definition of sex. You're dodging.
Yeah, I gave you the definition.
No, you gave me the distinction between sex.
I gave you a distinction and I gave you a definition.
It's okay. Like, this is what happens when you join a cult.
Hey, and that's what I was saying, Sugar Belly.
Okay,
You see how he wiggling and moving.
It's a multi-dimensional construct defined an organism, principally male, female. There you go.
Okay, so in the context of the time period when sex and gender were used interchangeably, what you just read out would also be the definition of gender. Do you agree or do you disagree?
I disagree.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm saying
we are dealing with a case of cultism.
I disagree because gender.
With a case of cultism.
Oh my God, I disagree because gender doesn't apply to all species.
Nathan, I'm going to ask you one last question, right? In the historical period in which sex and gender were used interchangeably, do you think that when talking about animals or non-human organisms, at any point, people ever said things like the animal's gender, the insect's gender, or whatever? Do you think that ever happened? What do you think?
I don't know.
Okay, it did happen, Nathan. And the reason why it happened is because historically, sex and gender have been the exact same thing.
Okay, sure. I want you to pull up any scientific book and show me where they was defined it. Which I guess show me where they was describing a male or a female of a different species, and they was using term as this is the woman or this is the man within this species. Show me that.
I'd have to have time because obviously I didn't know we get to.
Because obviously you're not gonna find it because there's a human. You're not gonna find. Now this is the Lulu part right there.
No, it's not. It's not.
This is the Lulu part.
No, Nathan, that's not correct because again, like I said, we can't look it up, right?
This dog is a man. Oh yeah, and this dog is a woman.
Okay, so Nathan, so like once again you're dodging, right? No. Nathan, listen to yourself. Wait, Dr. Jazz, 1 second. Nathan, listen to yourself and listen to what you just said, right? I just said that historically sex and gender were used interchangeably, right?
I know. Yeah.
Now, you agree that historically this was the case. Then in order to prove or disprove that, I'll find you a scientific book or anything from that time period or whatever says this dog is a man. What you're doing is that you're trying to reinsert your modern redefinition of gender, right? But I already established that we are not talking about the time period where people now start saying that, gender is socially constructed, let's separate it from sex. We're talking about...
That's why I want you to show me.
Hang on, let me finish.
Yes.
Nathan, not a single person who saw sex and gender as interchangeable would ever, right?
What Israel describes as remaining Hamas threats or ceasefire breaches. Both sides accuse each other of violations. Recent reports mention Israeli strikes killing civilians, including intent encampments. The death toll from the conflict exceeds 75,000 Palestinians, with some peer-reviewed studies, like one in Lancet, suggesting the true figure for the first 15 to 16 months was significantly higher than initial reports. Hundreds of thousands injured, massive destruction of homes, hospitals, schools, and mosques. Famine and starvation have killed hundreds. My point. Can I get to my point?
Yeah.
So,
that was a good point, actually.
So my point.
Yes, let your point, please.
Okay, so I was curious what is going on in Gaza today, and I used Grok, and I asked the room, what are your opinions about Grok? Nobody really has that much of an opinion.
You should have a landing gear.
Remember the point.
Can I finish talking?
Do you know that Amir said that El Normo was on Epstein Island and had a picture he's showing, and I didn't click it because it was spyware. But that's what Amir's saying about you, El Normo.
Oh, okay.
Wait, guys, can we? I think her question was this: she was saying she was going
No.
Oh, so I was trying to.
No.
So you have no point, correct, Olivia? You
I
just
have
reading
a
Brock.
point.
I do have a point.
Did you say the point?
Make a point, please. You've been talking a lot.
So I went to Grok, right?
We
and
know
I was
that. That's not a point.
oh,
What's the point?
that was biased. What I read, I felt was biased in favor of Palestinians.
Yes.
So then I decided to go to Times of Israel.
This is not a point, Olivia. We don't want a whole story about.
Yeah, you're ranting.
You're rambling.
I'm not ranting.
You're rambling. Do you have a point?
Grok is owned by Elon Musk.
I was just gonna compare news sources. That's all I was comparing.
Yeah, but that's not
You guys dogpiling her. Why are you dogpiling her, guys?
I'm trying to save her.
No. Like, so then I went to Times of Israel.
Wow,
Because I was like, that is possibly more in favor of Israel. And
I'm sorry, but point of order, moderator. Is there a point here? Does she have a point? A point requires one sentence. Do you have an opinion or something other than telling us that you're using ChatGPT and going to websites? Do you have a point? That takes one sentence. Hello.
I mean, I was just comparing. I was like,
Yeah, we know what you're doing, Olivia. You've got no point. She's got no point.
Let me ask a question first. Can I ask you a question, Olivia, please?
No questions. Just make points. Hello.
I have a question. But why do we need
Question or a point?
I don't think I have a point, actually. I was just reading.
I agree.
I was just reading articles.
Okay, enjoy. Thank you.
I have a question on what she said, though, still.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not think when you search things with an agenda in mind, you're not actually looking for any fucking unbiased, you're still looking to affirm your own biases? And that's me, the fundamental issue. When you're
I went to Grok and I put in what is going on in Gaza. I don't think that's a biased question.
Times already. We get it.
Let me give y'all the lowdown skinny of what's going on in the Iranian group with the Zayas, okay?
Yeah, I was just comparing them.
Yeah, me too.
I literally
If had
just
one, they
started.
could do that.
I just started
They
just
could
now.
do that to me too if I had one.
Hey, I got a dick and I'm a Zionist. Can any of you suck my big Ashkenazi dick? It's a huge schlong straight from Tel Aviv. Hello? Do you guys just spend your whole lives wasting your time? Because that's what I think everybody's doing.
John is officially, he's only half Jewish. That's the sad part.
So
He's wasting his life on
Okay.
only half his life. That's crazy.
So it's still rather fascinating.
Is Times of Israel like a good one? Yeah, I think there's honestly.
Hey everybody, I just used ChatGPT and I went to Times of Israel and I was like looking up some things and I don't have a point, but I was using the internet and I read some things and I'm here to now waste all your time. Hello?
Okay, well, let's not get. She just.
I was just reading. Like, I actually wasn't making a point.
She's just starting out. Okay, give her a break.
Yeah, we're not here to rap on each other. Stop
At
it.
least you're
Stop
trying to
it.
learn shit, okay? At least you're trying to fucking learn shit. Like people who want to be dumb for their whole life. So,
If you want to learn something, you should probably read a book. Because Clown House is not a place to learn anything. You can't learn anything on this app. It's impossible. Hello?
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Oh, it's true, sweetheart. I've tested it. I've scientifically proven beyond a reasonable doubt, statistically and scientifically, that you can't learn a fucking thing on this app. It's impossible. Hello?
Can we all take like a fucking like high professional education real quick? Like one just like look at your.
Is it a meditation class now? Because I thought I was going to learn something. Are you teaching meditation now? Hello?
I'm teaching everyone. I'm teaching control what you can control, your emotions, your energy you spend on shit. Because when you start yelling,
I was just wanting to see.
Lord, you get me? When you yell,
When I put what is going on in Gaza, I didn't know what to expect.
I don't know what to expect either on Clown House. I'm here to learn something. Okay, let's find out if anybody can teach me something. Go ahead, anybody? Can anybody teach me something real quick? It like takes 1 sentence to 3 sentences, I'm sure. Go ahead. Hello?
This wasn't learning. The focus wasn't to learn anything.
I can teach you something, guys. All of you. Want to hear it? Very good.
Yeah, I want to learn something on Clubhouse today. Please proceed. Hello?
times of everything.
Thank you. So, lesson number 1. You can control yourself and yourself only. Do that. Lesson number 2. Don't cry, because crying gives you wrinkles. And
I do have a question. Do any of you guys like a certain like media source or?
I got a question for the room. Does anybody like Skittles more than Starburst or peanut butter M&Ms? Hello?
Why is everyone angry?
I love M&M peanut. Okay, don't fuck with that shit. Do not talk about peanut butter M&Ms. The crunchy peanut M&Ms, don't fuck with those.
Well, I'm just wondering, why is there so much hate for Jews, for Israelis? Does anybody ever actually just like, look in the mirror and realize that maybe it's not the Jews, maybe it's not the Israelis, maybe it's you, maybe it's you who is the asshole? Hello?
I think it's offensive, and I'm not even attacking you for
Can I
anything.
respond on a like objective level, please?
Has anyone taught Lord something yet? Still
I'm trying to see trauma.
You keep talking.
It's okay. It's a trauma response. I get it.
It's not a trauma response. I'm not traumatized by anything. I just got back from the gym. I'm drinking.
That was just too much. I had to put it down.
Nobody hates Jews. Nobody like.
Oh, really?
Look. As a person whose history I'm as ingrained with, I understand the animosity. But I think what the first thing that people will mean, just with Zionists, the issue is you're taking it on people who you know you can run over. Like, in my opinion, right? Let's go and bomb Berlin. Let's go and the people who did fuck, come and bomb London. We're the ones who fucked her up. We are the ones who fucked her up from the start. So go and fuck up that shit, but you know you can't get away with it. Second of all, if what was done to you, you do it to other people. How can you say, "Oh, feel bad for me"? Once again, you are monkey see, monkey do. The same with African corruption. You're just repeating behaviors with other people, and it's not okay. And also, why the fuck the first Israeli prime minister was Palestinian? Motherfucker, why can't people? And also, last but not least, if we're going back to the biblical stages for evidence, every adulterer should be stoned. Every cheater, close up. Every thief, chop your hand off. I just think, for me, it's like I understand why. I'm not against the Israeli states. I understand the need for it. I understand they have been persecuted for a long time. But I also you cannot use a scapegoat to justify your bullshit. And at this point, it's also beyond fucking just equality. At this point, with its hegemony.
But then you have to remember these are people with no morals.
Well, no,
that are killing kids.
Don't say that, okay?
No, you have no morals if you're standing for killing kids.
Who's killing kids?
Zionists are different people.
And who's killing kids? Who are you accusing of killing kids?
IDF.
Uh-huh.
IDF isn't killing kids.
Yes, they have.
Why don't you prove that?
Oh, I have to prove that. It's been on the internet for the last
Wait, when you say somebody is killing, there's never been a war in which civilians did not suffer. That's every war since the beginning of mankind. The point is that, hang on. The point, there's no law of proportionality regarding that either. No, there is not. I can explain the law of proportionality. No, there actually is not. That is incorrect. So there's no war, hang on. I'll explain the law of proportionality. It's not what you think it is. The proportionality means, is the strike that could result in civilian casualties worthy of the military target? And every time, stop, wait, save your questions for a second. So every time the IDF makes a strike, they run it by the legal arm of the IDF. It determines, is this to a military target? The IDF doesn't make strikes on non-military targets.
Yeah, like hospitals.
Hang on, I'll take the question. Don't roll dog at once. One at a time. One at a time. Dave, I want to hear what you have to say, but if you talk when I'm talking, I cannot hear you. The IDF does not strike non-military targets. What Hamas did was high military. Hang on, I want to hear your question. I can't hear you if you're talking. Then I have to repeat it. Then ask your question. The IDF does not strike non-military targets. What Hamas did was hide military assets underneath and behind civilian targets. They refused to allow their own civilians into the vast 500-kilometer tunnel network in order to protect. Hang on, I'll answer your question after I finish. I'll answer your question after I finish. Just save your question. I actually want to hear your question. I'm easily able to address it. The IDF does not strike civilian targets in order to kill civilians. Hang on. The IDF does not strike civilian targets that have no military value. Hamas purposely hid their military assets in civilian areas and freely struck at Israeli civilians. Yet once you strike from a civilian area, it's no longer a civilian area. Once Hamas fires a rocket from a school or a hospital, it no longer has protected status. That is how those people got killed because of Hamas. Hang on, didn't finish. The entire culpability.
As you're finishing, just bring
hang on, almost done. The entire culpability for the death of civilians is with Hamas and nobody else. Now, what's your question?
Okay, I'm like, can I go first? Okay, can I hijack?
What's your question?
B, can I just say something to him? Could you pin the link of?
But make it one sentence so I can actually respond.
Okay, so pin the link of the proof of Hamas.
Yeah.
Sending out missiles from hospitals and all of these places.
Al-Shifa is the best example. We have documentation.
No. Bring me a proof
Hang on. Okay, I'm answering you. Don't talk while I'm answering you. Don't talk while I'm answering you. The best example is when they killed Mohammed Deif.
I do want to read about that. So
the best example is look up Mohammed Deif. They found the tunnel from which they were firing rockets right underneath the hospital. It's called the European Hospital.
Can you bring up proof?
I just did. Now look up the actual footage. Now look at the footage of where they found Mohammed Deif under the European hospital. That's the best example. There are numerous examples. Every time they do it, they go and they photograph it. Every single time they photograph it. It's fully documented that they struck missile implantations in arms caches and fighters who were hiding under civilian targets like hospital, like Al-Shifa Hospital.
Give me hang
on, still talking. European Hospital and Al-Shifa Hospital. In fact, the IDF had to go into Al-Shifa Hospital for 2 weeks in order to avoid hurting anybody that was in there. They fought a pitched battle with Hamas terrorists in the hospital, where in the maternity ward and in the emergency room. Hamas embeds itself in the maternity ward and the emergency room and fights IDF soldiers there. We didn't bomb it. We went in there and risked our lives in order to kill Hamas and not bother civilians or patients in the hospital.
Okay.
Now, what's your question?
I'm real ass. I'm gonna hijack your shit too because I have so many fucking.
No need to hijack. What's your question?
Okay. It's not the way you. I'm going to hijack the plane back like a Somali.
What are you talking about?
Well,
hijack Somali.
If you listen, you might understand. Thank you.
Wait, I don't think we're in the same place.
No,
Somali?
we are. We'll get there.
No, I don't have forever to get to Somalia.
No, my guy. It was a fucking joke.
My guy. I didn't understand that joke either, B. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what she says.
I was making a joke. I think I'm gonna hijack.
I don't get the joke.
Okay, let's get to the point. B, you've been asked twice. Get to the point. Not bring you down.
Leave the comedy to people who are funny.
Yeah, I think B is the comedian.
Yeah, we've been doing it. Okay, once again, what's your question or point?
The Jews are just funny looking, they're not funny.
Thank you.
You're saying, okay, yes, Hamas is Hamas. Why does Hamas exist? Why does Hamas actually exist on this?
They exist to kill Jews. That's what they say themselves.
But who? Why would Hamas be in existence? For what?
They exist to kill Jews. To kill Jews. What's your next question?
No, answer the question first.
I just did. They exist to kill Jews.
And they're very clear about it. And they're very clear. It's not under anything.
They came and killed civilians in Israel. Dancers and farmers.
B, please ask a direct question, ma'am.
Yes. They exist still do. It is in their charter.
Thank you.
I can't hear B at all. I have no idea what she's saying.
Me either. I can't hear her.
It's beyond me how just choose like with me, right? I can be aware of how the sources I look to can be polarized or be biased in many ways. How is it you cannot understand it for yourself? How is it you can sit there and think that everything you see is fake? How is it that you can sit there and
Nobody does that.
Well, yes, we do right now because you say, oh, if they did this must be like
Your words, not ours, man.
It's like in 1948.
Nobody says everything we see is fake. What's your next question?
Okay, can I say something, Z?
Now you want to talk about 1948?
What?